Library District. ARS 13-3553 prohibits parents from exposing their children to sexually explicit materials. It also prohibits the distribution of these materials, and it seems like our libraries are violating this law. Again, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children cautions that early sexualization of children is one of the huge risk factors in children being exploited and sex trafficked. You have two books. One of them is Perfectly Normal, and the other one is The Ship We Built, that is blatant child pornography. It would violate your public comment meeting laws for me to even be able to read the content of those books. But if you, by having our libraries govern in such a way that we're violating that law, I really think that our county attorney should take a look at this. You should remove child porn books, especially if you're going to then fund protecting children and getting justice for that exploitation. Start in our libraries, please. Thank you.
Innocence lost at the library.
The clerk, if you would like us to take receipt of that. So thank you. Well, I'll go ahead and let you speak at 2 minutes. It will get to us. Go ahead.
I have here children books that Miss Katie Hobbs vetoes the protection of children. These things are like blatant. They sit here and it says how to have boy-on-boy sex. Different positions you can get in. Oh, it says here the sensitive areas, they're being kissed and they can be licked. These are things that you've allowed to be in the public school.
Innocence lost at the library.
We will adjourn as the Flood Control District Board of Directors and convene as the Library District Board of Directors. Madam Clerk, are there any speaker forms?
First Amendment is cited to justify leaving inappropriate material in children's libraries, yet it is restricted when us citizens want to speak here.
I'm asking one of you to have integrity right now and to help me figure out who's doing the uploading and who's doing the editing. I'm trying to get this to prop up on its own because your person who's doing the filming, they're editing and censoring things. When I hold up something giving you a law, letting you know what the law is to protect children, and I get it blocked out, I'm just letting you guys all know right here. Mark Stewart, Thomas Galvin, Kate Brophy-McGee, Debbie Lesko, Steve Gallardo. I just want to let you guys know, if we keep noticing this going on, you are now willfully allowing it to happen. I wanted to bring to your attention some books that are in the county library. This right here, these are kid-friendly books. See how cute they look? They're like that for a reason, because it does draw them to it. I want to read page 200 on, this is how to have, it says boy on boy sex. Here it says, perhaps the most skill you'll master as a gay or a bi man is the timeless classic, the hand job. The good news is that you can practice it on yourself. The bad news is each guy has become very used to his own way of getting himself off. Learning how to find partners, personal style can take ages, but it can be very rewarding when you do so. This is a book in the minors department, and this is telling children how to have sex with each other. Here's the ones for the girls. Oh, a hand, it says, is way better than a penis. And it starts going into how girls can have sex with each other. That's in your minors department, you're the library.
Thank you.
Content-based editorial manipulation. In other words, when you cut out my content, you can't get a full understanding when I'm doing my presentation for anyone who's watching the YouTube, because they don't understand I'm sitting here trying to show you a book that's in your county library. This one, unfortunately, is in Mr. Stewart's of perversion that's in the minors department book that I found in the minors department. So this is more directed toward you, Miss Kate Brophy-McGee. That's your district. It says, after a bit, I'm going to put it here so I can read it better. This isn't a sign. It's your.
Put the book down.
You actually said signs, ma'am, not county library books. This is your county library book that I'm reading out loud. After a bit, a person's vagina becomes moist and slippery, and the clitoris becomes hard. After a bit, a person's penis becomes erect, stiff, and larger. Sometimes a bit of fluid will come out. I'm going to put this back here because I'm pretty sure that they took the camera off my face because that editing that's happening. This is in the minors department in your library, in your Fountain Hills library. This is in the minors department. This is my public comment time out of a county library book. Are you going to threaten to kick me out because of that?
It's getting close.
Okay.
Talking about the use of profane, foul, abusive language that was used today to purportedly make a point.
Hearing John Kennedy, he's reading from this book we've been talking about, All Boys Aren't Blue. This book is still in your minors section. Kennedy quotes from the book. I put some lube on and got him on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated. He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside of me. He got on top of me, slowly inserted himself into me, and it is the worst pain I had ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt some pleasure and pain. Get these books out of our library. It's in the minors section.
Madam Chair, you warn us to not be profane. This was very profane.
And I'm not talking about library books. I'm
talk about two books that I got from the Fountain Hills County Library. You know, the first one is, this book is gay. It's not about being gay. This is the part where people get it misunderstood. This is a book in the minors department, which means somebody under 18. Pages 202 to 208 are very, very specific. I've read them and embarrassed myself reading them in here to try and bring understanding of how disgusting these books are that are in the minors department. And so this is that book. And I've given you pictures. I've actually made the copies of these pictures. And I've actually, and I'm doing this because your cameraman, which I've asked somebody here to have integrity to let me know who's in charge of the Maricopa County uploading and the editing, not one of you have bothered to get back with me. Even Public Records hasn't. I'm putting that on the record real quick before the Ombudsman Department. The same thing, it's perfectly normal. This is from the minors department. Minors. Page 9, graphic sex, 3 different examples, whether it's heterosexual, woman on woman, or man on man, extremely graphic. Again, I got this out of the county library, from your county library, chairman of the library department. This book, or It Is Perfectly Normal, is literally full on, which I read at the last board meeting, and you were having a problem with me reading it because the contents were so disgusting. These are in the minors department in your county libraries. Now, I'm mentioning these things to you for a reason, because I'm going to be making this opportunity to continue proving that you have editing and censorship going on with your person behind the wall back over there that is doing editing, cropping, being selective in what things they show of our props. So I'm just doing that for that reason.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Call the names, and as you hear your name called, come forward.
Members of the board, I'm speaking specifically to Agenda Item 148, the approval of the Library District minutes. The public record needs to reflect what actually occurred during those meetings. Parents and residents repeatedly raised questions about sexually explicit materials remaining in youth sections of county libraries, yet these concerns are either minimized or entirely absent from the minutes before you today. On October 22nd, during discussion of the 2026 Library District calendar, a very relevant question was asked. What is the board's timeline for removal of inappropriate material from children's section? And it's appropriate in that you're considering an annual timing with regards to this. That question was met with a recess, followed by the removal of the person who asked the question.
Ms. Shepherd, this item is for the 2026 meeting schedule for the Library District.
Yeah. So that's number 130. So here's my thing about this. When you approve the 2026 Library District meeting, you also are scheduling another year of silence and regarding an urgent issue. The sexually explicit material, are you guys scheduling in there when you're going to have times in which this much is going to be taken out of there? Because we know it's still in there. You're actually building a schedule for an entire year out. I want to know what you're doing as far as giving mile markers to get this perversion that you're funding out of the libraries. I've heard different ones saying it's taken care of. That was you, Mark Stewart. It wasn't. Ms. McGee said they're not in there. They absolutely are there. Debbie Lesko was unaware that that bad stuff was there, and it's still there. So I'm asking you, you've got a calendar here for an entire year for the Library District. I'm asking you, what do you have to get this perversion out of the sight of children that is harming them emotionally and mentally and spiritually? It's in our minds that Satan takes hold of us first. And so when you guys allow these books to be available to the kids, because you fund it, you're the funders, you're the godfathers of these situations. So when we got children that are actually being affected by perversion or inappropriate content, you're the funders of it. So I'm asking you, you've got a schedule here. What is your schedule to get this garbage out of the sight of children?
Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Stewart.
Thank you. And Leslie, thank you for continuing to bring this forward. Just to clarify, when I communicated that it was taken care of, our objective was to move the books from the juvenile section to a section more appropriate for adults. Jen, would you mind giving us a quick update on where we are with this? Because it's as important to us as it is to you. We're making progress. We have to fit within the Constitution, which I know you respect. There's a First Amendment, and we're trying to, I know we can't have a discussion here, Leslie.
Hold on. We're going to go.
Thank you, Chair.
We're going to go through the chair. County Manager Pekorski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Stewart. Any books that were on juvenile sexual health have been removed from the juvenile section and placed in the adult section of the library in all of the Maricopa County run libraries.
Thank you. Supervisor.
You're on record today.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Are you on record
Have a
today
seat.
saying every single one
You're
of
done.
these-
Your speaking time is done. I'm asking you to take a seat.
Mr. Chairman.
Answer my question.
We already answered the question.
No,
You've been talking back to Supervisor Stewart. I'm asking you to take a seat right now.
So I'm going to take that she's
Okay.
stating that it's on record right now.
You're being booted from the room. Thank you. You had 4 chances. Please remove her from the room now for breaking the rules of decorum. We're going to take a recess until she leaves.
I also sent you.
Apologize. Okay, sir, please go ahead.
That's all right. I agree with her.
None of that appears in these minutes. I also note that just this Monday, the board convened executive session discussions on open meeting law and decorum. That timing is not lost on the public, given the pattern of silencing, recessing, and now approving minutes that omit contested public comment. Minutes are not supposed to sanitize controversy. They are supposed to preserve the public record. When removals, constitutional objections, and unresolved public safety concerns are excluded, the record becomes misleading. I respectfully request that these minutes be corrected or supplemented before approval, and that this board restore webinar access so citizens can participate equally without fear of removal or later editing. Transparency is not optional. It is a constitutional duty.
I'm speaking to Agenda Item 148, approval of the Library District minutes for September 10th, October 1st, and October 22nd. During these meetings, members of the public raised substantive concerns regarding library content accessible to minors, statutory compliance, and the absence of a clear review process of time or timeline for addressing those concerns. These were not side comments. They were directly tied to library district governance, funding responsibility, and policy oversight. As the board considers approval of these minutes, I want the record to reflect that public input consistently asked for transparency, defined milestones, and a dedicated public discussion on library content compliance. Even if the minutes are approved as presented, it is important that the public record acknowledge that these issues were repeatedly raised and remain unresolved. I urge the board moving forward to ensure that library district minutes meaningfully reflect substantive public concerns so that the historical record accurately represents the work before this body. Thank you.
All right, once again, Agenda 148 is involving the library district minutes, and I want to be clear, it's not an isolated concern. The issues discussed on the 10th of September, the 1st of October, and the 22nd of October, those meetings have been raised consistently for over a year, and every current member of the board has been present for those discussions during 2025. Yet the minutes before you today reflect almost none of that history. Instead, they rely on the claim that the public can simply watch the meetings online, even as videos are edited, audio quality is poor, and key moments are removed. Minutes are supposed to be the official, durable record of government action. YouTube is not. It is discretionary, editable, and already demonstrably unreliable. Passing these minutes without acknowledging what has been omitted sends a message that public input is tolerated in the room but erased on paper and videos. That is not transparency, and it should be a concern to every member on this board. I've been to several of these libraries in the last couple of months. Those books are still accessible to children. The whole time they are in that library, they're just not allowed to check them out. That's not sufficient, in my opinion. You've been being told about this for more than a year. Actually, I think it's closer to 2 years. So I would like to make it known that those books are still allowed to be seen in the libraries by kids, where they can read the whole book without even having to check one out.
What was just said, and maybe make a suggestion. Decades ago, the Supreme Court ruled that the First Amendment protection could be inapplicable for pornography, depending on local decision as whether it was offensive. Sometimes public authorities are not aware of this decision and fear First Amendment to remove these kinds of filth from the library.
Today I have the director of our library district, Jeremy Reeder, here, and if it's okay, ma'am, I would love to say a few words afterwards.
Absolutely.
Our Father in heaven, we are so grateful for this day. We are so grateful for this nation in which we live and for this opportunity that we have to participate in this civic opportunity. We are grateful for those that are here, those that serve, and those that are utilizing their citizenship in such a manner. Father, we are concerned nationally and locally about the level of contention that besets us in this day and age. And so we ask for an added measure of peace to be with us in this meeting, that this business will be conducted in a peaceful manner. We are grateful, Father, for those that are serving here. And we again ask for an added measure of wisdom for our board and for those whose decisions are to be made, even the wisdom of Solomon, that we may know thy will concerning this great work in this great community. We are again grateful for all that we have been given and the opportunity we have to be here today, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
And now for the pledge.
It's funny, every time I try to sign up to speak online, I'm rejected because I'm not disabled. But level of emotional and mental disability presented here is rampant when evil is called good and good evil. These days, evil is celebrated and good and God is being mocked. Mr. Gallardo, you were upset with me last time when I called people who allow sexual abuse of minor children are rotten human beings. You're entitled to your opinion, sir, but minor sexual abuse is not negotiable for the same reason we refuse to negotiate with a drunk. And last I checked, you guys are working for us. And for us to not giving you grievances will be irresponsible.
The citizens of this county are very disappointed that you are not acting on the behalf of the people. It's unbelievable. While the board moves quickly to question one elected office, many of us continue asking for the same urgency.
Madam Chair, there's a separate case, as I understand it, that has been filed as it relates to the statutory authority of the board to remove elected officials.
Correct.
Or Jen? Okay, thank you. Understood. So 78 is the separate lawsuit that we're looking to make a motion or make a...
Mr. Stewart.
Yes, ma'am.
78 has been agended for possible action. So we will now skip to item number 79.
78?
79.
79.
I am exercising my discretion as chair.
Oh, okay.
And what I will also say is we are going to complete the rest of the agenda and then go back to item 78. So bear with me. Mr. Galvin.
I'd like to make a motion to recess the formal board meeting for at least an hour for the purpose of obtaining legal advice in an emergency executive session from the board's attorney as listed on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Galvin. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. And we will recess the meeting for the executive session. It is anticipated we will return in an hour, give or take. So, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for waiting. We appreciate your patience. Board members have been briefed in executive session by their respective attorneys, Mr. Stewart by his and the board by ours. And we are now going to address item 78, possible action regarding case CV 2025-020-621.
And not sharing executive session privilege, but this item is a competition and practicable for the procurement of Statecraft PLLC for the entire defense of that Superior Court case. Maricopa County Superior Court case CV 2026-006-822, which I believe is Recorder Justin Heap, and each of the board members were named in that case.
Madam Chair, if I may, are we asking to approve essentially a retainer for $250,000 for Corey and his team in order to use that as funding for an appeal of the court case that happened last week? Is that the intention?
Madam Chair, Supervisor Stewart, this is a not to exceed amount of $250,000, so it is not a retainer, it is an authorization to spend up until $250,000 for the entire defense of the case.
If there's an appeal, this would be the funding mechanism to do that. And that's item number 78.
Item 78 is just possible action, or item 74 is specifically a procurement item for the entire defense of the case.
Okay, I think I understand a little bit better.
Supervisor Galvin.
Madam Chair, thank you, and thank you so much for textually handling all of those different disparate items. One thing I want to point out for people either here in the audience or watching online is that everything we do is through a public process, and in fact, our attorney that represents us is the county attorney, the county attorney's office, and as you can see here on the agenda, it literally says county attorney. All of these items beneath where it says county attorney is us acting at the direction or the advice of our county attorney. Everything we do is in public, and this includes obtaining conflict waivers.
We will now consider item 78, and I will open the floor to a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to authorize counsel for the board majority to move Judge Blaney for a stay, and if the stay motion is denied, to appeal promptly.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. The motion on the floor is to ask Judge Blaney for a stay, and if the stay motion is denied, to appeal promptly.
What's the purpose of the stay?
The motion is what it is, and you can determine whether to participate in voting it or not. But I do not want to open this matter for further discussion. And the reason I don't is I will not allow privilege to be waived, period.
Everything we're doing here is transparent and open. There is a motion, and we have had plenty of time over the past week to consult with our attorneys for the past week, and we have received all of the legal advice that we have needed or the opportunity to get it to make a fully informed vote, and I am ready to vote on this motion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Further discussion? We will proceed to a roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Supervisor Stewart.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll be voting no.
Supervisor Galvin.
With gratitude to Supervisors Gardo, Lesko, and Brophy-McGee for their diligence and fairness, I vote aye.
Vice Chair Lesko.
Aye.
Supervisor Gallardo.
Aye.
Chair Brophy-McGee.
Aye. So the motion passes 4-1.
I am reading a book from the Fountain Hills Library, your library. I see your indignance and your determination for law actions. And I've already told you that I think you all should be paying for your lawyers out of your own pocket. My point is your determination about it, and yet you're not doing it for the protection of children. That is my problem that I have. So here it says, in the section that tells children how to have boy-on-boy or girl-on-girl sex, it says, unlike the vagina, the anus does not lubricate itself. You need lube if you're going to attempt anal. This is for 2 reasons. 1, anal sex hurts. The anus does not have the capacity to stretch in the same way a vagina does. This means it's a tight hole, which feels nice for the top, but it also means it's very uncomfortable for the bottom. This is why lots of men don't like being at the bottom. With the right water lube, however, it can be hugely enjoyable. A good kind of pain, like a pain deep tissue massage. 2, lubes make it less likely your condom will split. The anus is pretty fragile membrane, which means it's easier to get STIs. I'm reading this to you because you're not as concerned about children's protection as you are your own control issues. This book is in the minors department. This is where children can see this because you guys said you have it under control. I guarantee you do not. And when you worry more about the liberal people going to take you to court, I think you better wake
Madam
up
Clerk.
and smell the roses.
Innocence lost at the library. How can it be? Where is the shield for the family tree? Where is the urgency?
Seriousness of what I'm talking about because of questions that are coming to your front door. Let's try to see if we can do this.
We have to figure this out.
My apologies to my fellow board members for you having to endure the use of profane, foul, abusive language that was used today to purportedly make a point. And I'm not talking about library books. And I'm not talking about library books. I'm not talking about library books.
Solutions are not complicated. Correct the perversion. It's starting to look like you're part of the perversion because it's going on so long. It's wrong. Maybe pray tonight. It's like, God, how do we get this done?
I think what I'm going to do in the interests of time is to adjourn this meeting and the executive session, and thank you all for your time.
Innocence lost at the library. How can it be? Where is the shield for the family tree? Where is the urgency? How can it be? When truth is hushed and silence defends, who will stand for the children?